Visas, border declarations, vaccination certificates, negative COVID tests, the right insurance, the right masks. Post-pandemic travel is way more complicated than before. But that doesn't mean it's more difficult. We've bundled up everything you need to know to travel safely and stress-free.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a product specialist. I specialise in COVID-related changes for airlines and countries' border policies. When you start planning a UK or Europe trip, the best place to start is just pick the destinations that you really want to see, your must-dos. Start from there, and then you can work out how to travel between them, whether it's flying, busing, training, doing an organised tour or doing it yourself. One of the first things you do when you book your flight should be book your travel insurance to cover you in case you get COVID or any other unforeseen circumstances, and check your vaccinations for your destinations and whether you're up to date or need to get any boosters. Before you leave Australia, the first thing you should do is download the International COVID Vaccination Certificate through the Medicare app. When travelling overseas, it's important to keep in mind local regulations to do with COVID rules. So it's important to look at the regulations to do with mask wearing, social distancing, testing, which wasn't a thing before COVID, vaccinations, local vaccination passes so that you can enter cinemas and bars and restaurants. A good tip for COVID safety while travelling is to always carry a mask on you. You never know when you'll need it, when you'll not be able to socially distance as appropriate in the destination you're in. There are a few airlines leading the way in COVID safety flying out of Australia. The 5-star airlines out of Australia are Singapore Airlines, Fiji Airlines and Qatar. They rate them based on their COVID safety from at the airport, including check-in booths, on the aircraft, so use of personal safety equipment, air filtration systems and extensive cleaning. If you're nervous about travelling internationally at the moment, my one tip would be to go on Smart Traveller for your destination and subscribe to all their updates. If anything changes, either before you're going while you planned your trip or while you're there, they'll send you an email and outline everything that's changed. They'll also give you updates on any vaccination passes you might need when you're there, any local rules and requirements, and it's just a really good source for getting information about COVID in your destination. One really important thing to check when you're travelling internationally is each destination may have a different definition of what it is to be fully vaccinated, whether that's 2 doses, how long since your last dose, and whether they need a booster to be considered fully vaccinated. When it comes to COVID check-in apps, each country and even states within the country might have their own app. It's important to do your research before you travel and download any apps necessary for when you get there. If you plan on doing a stopover on your way to Europe, you have to check to make sure that you meet the rules for entry on the place you stop over, whether it be Singapore, Dubai, Abu Dhabi. And you'll have to also check to see if you can find testing centres in those places before you travel to your next destination, and pre-book them if you can. One thing people don't realise that if you stop over on your way to Europe, you may require another COVID test before you travel on. They generally have a requirement of 48 hours or 72 hours before arrival, so if you have a long stopover, your original test might not be valid. So you'll have to find a testing centre in your stopover location. Airports and airlines might be able to point you in the right direction for that. Otherwise, local government sites are a really good resource for you. If you do test positive while you're in destination, the first thing you should do is contact the local COVID hotline for your area, and they'll let you know any requirements to do with self-isolation or quarantine. From there, you should contact your insurance and let them know and see if they have any advice for you, and then contact your travel agent to help you replan your holiday to get you home. Before travelling to Australia, there are a few things you'll need to organise. You'll need to get a negative COVID test, a vaccination certificate, and fill out the passenger declaration form. For the most up-to-date info, check the Smart Traveller website, the Home Affairs website, and your local state government website. Even though there are more rules and regulations that make it harder to travel during COVID, it's still not necessarily too difficult to travel. You just have to keep on mind the local rules regarding testing and vaccinations, and a good travel agent will be able to help you with that.